Welcome to this video guide on writing a CV from the Careers Service at Imperial College London. A CV is your first chance to make a good impression with an employer or opportunity provider. It's often the first thing they receive from you in the application process, and therefore it is important to create a positive impression. Your CV is also key to getting an interview, as it should show how well you match the opportunity in terms of skills and experience. This means that your CV should provide specific evidence for the criteria required for the opportunity. A CV is not to be used to list everything that you have ever done without tailoring it to the opportunity. Recruiters can easily see if you have not tailored it for their specific opportunity. It should also typically not be longer than 2 pages, nor should it contain private information such as marital status, date of birth, or a photo of yourself. Your CV should not be rushed. It will take time to create something of quality, and CVs that are hurriedly put together often fail to target the specific opportunity and can contain errors and inaccuracies. The advice we provide in this video guide is tailored for the UK market, and while it is applicable to many geographic regions, it should be noted that there can be subtle differences in CV formats for different countries. In addition to our services, we recommend that you use Going Global for country-specific CV advice to ensure that your document is relevant for its intended purpose if you are applying for opportunities outside of the UK. We will refer to a CV example in this video. However, we encourage you to browse our guide for many more examples that can be used for inspiration and to understand formatting and presentation. Use the link on screen or scan the QR code to access this resource. Various research indicates that on average, a recruiter will have decided if they like your CV or not within 6 seconds. They will assess the format and style in these 6 seconds as they decide if the content is accessible and well presented. If they don't like what they are seeing, they may stop reading. It is therefore critical to pick a neat and easy to access format that will help the reader to follow the flow of the document and that will convey your skills quickly and succinctly. The recruiter will also be assessing if the document shows evidence of relevant skills for that opportunity. Follow the link on screen or scan the QR code to visit our webpage on reading job advertisements to better understand the expectations of the recruiter, which can help you to tailor your CVs to specific opportunities. There is no one universally perfect way to write a CV. However, there is commonly accepted guidance around format and structure, which I will discuss here with this example. A chronological CV is typically the most common form of CV. It presents each section with the most recent experience first and allows you flexibility to name sections as most appropriate to highlight your skills and experiences for the opportunity. In this example, you can see the applicant has chosen to highlight their education, industry experience, further experience, interests such as clubs and societies, and their skills and achievements in subsections. This helps the reader to navigate the content quickly. We generally recommend a chronological CV for students and recent graduates. However, other formats exist, such as a skill-based or narrative CV, which are more commonly used for experienced hires or within an academic context. You will also notice that the CV is neatly spread across 2 full pages of text. This is the expected norm for many opportunities. However, some industries, such as investment banking and management consultancy, can prefer a very concise 1-page document. A high-quality CV is one that evidences as many of the skills detailed in the advertisement, including the job description or person specification. It should also expand upon your experiences, using bullet points to effectively and concisely convey evidence of relevant skills and attributes to the reader. It should also try to draw the reader to key information from education, projects, or wider extracurricular experiences. Constructing a CV that is tailored to an opportunity takes time and effort. Think of this as being similar to achieving a first in academia, which requires focus and an investment of energy. So too does your CV, and in this instance, the assessor is the recruiter. Many larger, well-known organisations may use applicant tracking systems, or ATSs, as they receive many thousands of applications. Often, the ATS may have elements of artificial intelligence software enabled to help filter through CVs and applications. The AI does the same process that a recruiter would by looking at the format and structure of the CV and seeing how many of the skills from the job description have been evidenced. The CV is then given a score and submitted in a report with all the other CVs to the recruitment team. As the recruiters are very busy, they are unlikely to read any CVs that do not have a high score. To ensure that AI can read your CV without any problems, you can avoid using columns for your text content, as the AI will try to read the document from top to bottom and left to right. Text in columns can confuse the software, which ultimately can lower your score. You should also avoid using any images or clip art in your CV, as these cannot be read by the AI, and avoid using star ratings or graphs to try to evidence your skills, as this is ineffective, and again, it cannot be read by AI. You should, however, ensure that your document is consistent throughout. For example, bullet points should be aligned neatly, font style and size should be appropriate, and your grammar, spelling and punctuation should be correct. You may also want to include a personal profile, which I'll discuss on the next slide, if you think the organisation is using AI, as it is often programmed to look for a couple of opening lines and scan for keywords aligned to the role. With the growing popularity of AI tools such as ChatGPT, employers are already finding ways to use AI to analyse if a document has been created using AI. Your CV should be your own piece of work to avoid the risk of plagiarism. We'll be monitoring any changes in the coming months and years and updating our advice and information accordingly. Personal profiles at the top of a CV have become more popular in recent years. Essentially, it is a bit like a newspaper headline that is used to entice the reader to want to learn more. It is normally 2 to 3 lines of fact-based text that comes immediately after your contact details. If you choose to use one, it can mention your academic background, any relevant work experience or project work, and your aspirations. Many people make the mistake of saying qualities about themselves without anything to back it up. For example, a hard-working and committed student. But what does that really mean? Without context of managing multiple competing deadlines or securing excellent academic grades while having a part-time job, it is a hollow statement that adds no value. The example we've given on screen is brief, factual, and contextual. You'll notice that it also avoids the use of I, me, or my, as a CV is a very direct business document that is all about you, so you don't have to say that you're talking about yourself, as this is obvious to the reader. This direct writing style can help keep your text more concise, formal, and less conversational. Bullet points are very important on a CV, as they help the reader get to the important information quickly. Try to keep them to 1 or 2 lines so they remain concise, and try to start them with an active word, for example, collaborated, liaised, or enhanced. These active words help you get to the point of what you did and the skill you used to do it. Essentially, they create concise statements that can be evidence-based. In our first example, our bullet points lack detail. It does have somewhat active language at the start of each bullet point, but it doesn't continue to elaborate or explain what happened, what the project was about, or what the applicant actually did. A recruiter would score this quite low, as they cannot compare them favourably against a candidate who gave more detail about their actions. Our second example is much better, as it contains detail, context, and uses active language. It is incredibly important to proofread your CV. This document should highlight your professionalism and suitability for the opportunity you're applying to, and poor grammar, spelling and punctuation, or inconsistencies with formatting can evidence poor communication skills and a lack of attention to detail. Both are red flags to many organisations, so thoroughly check your work before you submit it. So, in summary, some of our top tips to enhance the content of your CV are to use bullet points to make important information accessible and avoid large blocks of text. Use active words and language to help create succinct and action-orientated statements. Ensure your document is tailored to the opportunity you're applying to and that every line adds value. Provide enough detail in your statements to show the impact of your experiences by conveying what you actually did. Think like the recruiter, as this can help you to give evidence of the right skills which they are looking for. Create subsections to highlight skills and experience that can help communicate your suitability for the opportunity. A tailored CV will require some time and effort to create, but it is more likely to score well than a generic CV that has not been targeted. Remember, you have an initial 6 seconds to gain the recruiter's interest. A clear structure and bullet points can really help with this. Ensure your experiences are tailored for the opportunity and evidence your suitability, and use active language to create concise statements and ensure that every line adds value. Remember, your document is limited to a maximum of 2 pages. Here are some next steps and further support. It can be helpful to complete a skills audit to ensure you understand your accomplishments and abilities both inside and outside of university. An audit can help you to collate your thoughts and enable you to pick your best examples to help evidence criteria from the opportunity descriptions. You can follow the link or scan the QR code on screen to access our Skills Audit webpage, where you can find useful advice and download resources. We also have a webpage dedicated to CV advice with many links and resources, including a link to our guide to CVs, cover letters and personal statements. These resources will tell you more about using action words and structuring your documents. It will also show you examples of various CVs and cover letters, and it includes advice on how to write speculative applications to organisations who may consider hiring you but haven't advertised a vacancy yet. For further advice about your CV or to discuss anything careers related, you can book a one-to-one appointment with our careers consultants through our Jobs Live platform. This is also where you can view our events calendar and book onto sessions that are of interest or browse live opportunities, including internships, placements and graduate roles. Thank you for listening. You can discover more about us on social media, or you can subscribe to our newsletter from your profile settings on Jobs Live to get the latest events and information.